This man that I'm about to show you is going to describe just how dark Kenneth Copeland's ministry actually is. Okay, and he talks about how some of the ways that the ministry makes money would be considered fraud if it wasn't blanketed under religion. Okay, he also talks about an experience where he went into an unrestricted area in Kenneth Copeland's compound at a house where all pastors meet Kenneth Copeland that's full of cameras for potential blackmail. We already know that Kenneth Copeland is what we would consider a dirty pastor, right? His ministry. But this right here goes way beyond that. Okay, this is crazy. I want to show y'all exactly what he said. We're going to watch it and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
So Kenneth Copeland has a 19,000 square foot parsonage on the lake on his church property. His church property, so this is the story about Kenneth. Kenneth, what most people don't know, was a struggling musician back in the day. He became a pilot and started flying Oral Roberts around. Oral Roberts is like OG evangelist. He's like one of the first old school big boys in the space, similar to Billy Graham. And so the story goes that Kenneth Copeland was flying over Texas and saw this runway next to this lake. And God gave him this vision that he was going to buy this whole parcel and turn it into a church and turn it into what he calls the revival capital of the world. So flash forward, he creates this marketing pitch, starts his church. And back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, mailers were super popular. And so, you'd get a mailing list, you'd mail 50,000 envelopes out and say, hey, Shawn, give me $10. This is Nathan, this is Pastor Nathan. I need $10 to help you spread this message. We have his mailer from the 70s, and he promised to build 6 things. He said, and in this pitch, God gave me the vision to buy this runway. I'm going to build a radio station, a TV network, ministry facilities, Kingdom Park, which was an extravagant park for his churchgoers and his tithe payers, an elderly community. So once you retire, you'll be able to retire on the church property. And in your rooms, they would pipe in Kenneth Copeland's TV network so you could watch Kenneth Copeland preach the gospel 24/7 a day. And then elderly home, and then a hotel for guests to come and enjoy the lake. So he sent that pitch out, raised tens of millions of dollars. He ever only built 3. I had to make sure it was 3. 3 of the things he promised to build. 1 was the radio station. 2 was the TV network. 3 was the ministry facilities. He never built the 3 things that people would donate money for. I would want to use the park. I would want to use the hotel. Maybe one day I'd want to retire in that facility. He never built anyone.
This guy did his homework. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. So this man promised 6 things. 3 of them was for the church and him, and then for the building and to grow his ministry. And the other 3 were for the people. But he never built the things for the people. And he only built the things for himself and to grow his ministry. Tens of millions of dollars. Man, that is crazy, man. That's wild. This guy really did his homework. He got a lot more to say. It gets worse than this, guys. It gets worse. Okay, let's continue on.
In the for-profit world, that would be called fraud. He would be in jail. Mm-hmm. In the religious world, we call it faith, Nathan. You got to have faith. Wow. So in the interim, he buys 1,600 acres on this lake in Texas. He builds the ministry facilities. He builds the radio and TV networks. And then a gentleman, a builder, a developer was like, hey, this bottom part of your 1,600 acres is prime for development. So he peels off 400 of the 1,600 acres and sells it to a developer. So there is a housing development there today. It's not for the elderly though. And he made money off that deal. It just went back to his church. In the meantime, I can't remember the gentleman's name. He drills oil, started going to the church. And he's like, hey, you own the mineral rights of this land. Let's start pumping oil. So they've been pumping oil for decades and no one knows how many tens of millions of dollars have been made off the oil because it's all this guy's.
All of it.
All of it. It's all called a church. And so Flash forward, now he's an older guy.
So the oil business falls under the church.
The church owns the oil business. Yep. So he has his two private runways. He's got his ministry facilities. He peeled off 400 acres to a for-profit development. He's got his oil platforms. And at the very bottom of the lake, or the property near the lake, he started building this 19,000 square foot parsonage.
You want to know what would be crazy? And I'm just thinking of this right now as he's speaking. What if God did give this man a vision? What if God gave him a vision and that these things would happen? Because, I mean, honestly, thinking about it, this is like having an oil field on your church. That's unheard of. How many places have oil, like are rich in oil? You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened that this lake area is rich in oil. And all of these things that, he's building. What if God actually gave him the vision, but he just did not do it the way God intended him to do it? What if he went his own way and he focused on himself and how much money he can make instead of what he could do for the kingdom of God? I mean, that's crazy. Look at Solomon, right? God gave Solomon wisdom. This wisdom gave Solomon the ability to make a lot of money. And Solomon then turned and followed other women that were outside of the, Jewish people and his people. And he followed women that served different gods, and he left God. But God gave him the ability to do everything that he did. This is wild, bro. This is crazy.
And now he lives in it. No one's ever been there before. So no one knows what it looks like. Pastors have, but like nobody like you and I have ever been there. So that 19,000 square foot parsonage, word is from an informant that basically Copeland has Epsteined tons of pastors. So there was an electrician back in the day that wired cameras and audio recording devices into every guest room in that 19,000 square foot parsonage. And so if you have pastors so afraid of their rivals.
So they're blackmailing. He's blackmailing.
Yeah, got to get dirt on people.
How did you come across this information?
Through our PIs. Yeah.
Every single guest room
the guest rooms in a parsonage owned by the church is wiretapped, video and audio, to basically archive dirt on people staying with you.
Has anybody received the footage?
No. Because no one can ever get to the house.
Man. Wow. Wow.
It's not things aren't as it seems.
It appears that way.
So I had the thought that, hey, I want to see the parsonage. So I start giving money to his church, and I'm like, the church owns that house. No one's seen it. So I want to see it. So a YouTuber named Tommy G and I start going to his church. And we're like, okay, I get a schematic, a big printout of his property because it's huge. I track the roads. We, get a visual on it. And there's one open gate from rain runoff that couldn't close. And it went from a parking lot to this dirt road. And so I could see it on the map, and I'm like, that's our inn. We're just going to steer down this open gate and see where it leads us, and we're going to try to get to the house. So this is in the show. We go to service. Ironically, all these pastors know me. So as soon as I sit down, there's 3 security guards around me, like with their earpieces. And I sit through part of the service. I get up and leave, and Tommy walks out, and we meet at the cars, and we just start driving. So we get on this dirt road, we go over this open fence, and boom, we're 50 yards from his runway, but there's a gate closed. And I'm like, shoot, I got nowhere to go, man. We pull up to the gate, it just opens. And I'm like, well, this is God. So we're doing this. So we get onto the runway. So now it's something out of, what's that? It's something out of an action movie. We got 2 cars flying down a runway now. And I'm like, okay, we're going to make a hard right here. And this is all in the show. And there's another gate. And boom, that gate opens too. And so now we're like 3/4 the way to his house. No one's been down here before. No one's ever seen footage of this. And I'm a big bow hunter. And so as I'm driving through this property, it's all high fenced. So it's 10 to 12 foot fences. I start seeing bucks everywhere. Deer. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is his own hunting ground. And sure enough, we pull up to his house, and there's one final gate, and he has this massive deer stand. And I'm like, this pastor has his own high fenced hunting ground on his property, on the church property that no one gets to use, but they pay for. So we pull up to the fence, and there's a keypad. So I'm like, we're not getting through this one. And now I'm 200 yards from the house, so we can see it. So we put drones in the air. We're having fun. No one's ever been here. And so there's no security. And so I call the front desk of the church because I'm like, well, like we're kind of stuck here now. So I call the front desk, and I can't remember the guy's name. Abraham. This nice guy named Abraham answers. And he's like, this is Abraham. How are you doing, Nathan? And I said, whoa, how do you know this is Nathan? And he goes, we have your number. You've been giving to us. And so they're just a refined call center. And I'm like, okay, awesome. He's like, what would you like to do? Would you like to give money or would you like prayer? And I'm like, well, I got a random request. Like, we're sitting at the gate of Kenneth's house. Like, I'd love to meet the pastor. And he's like, you're what? And I'm like, I'm at the gate. Like, we're down here. We made it through 2 gates. We were on the one. And I tell him the whole story. And he goes, please hold. Out of nowhere, we just hear this F-150, oh, comes screeching up on us. And this dude jumps out, and he looks like John Ritter from the movies. So he comes like flying up to where he's almost hits us, a couple feet from us. And he gets out, and he tears his glasses off, and he opens his jacket, and he walks up to us. He's like, you out of here now. And he flashes this badge, and he pulls his shirt open, and he's got his like a pistol, like 9 or something sitting there in his pants. And luckily Tommy G has been through this enough. And he goes, let me see that badge. And the guy goes, no, get out of here now. And he goes, no, I want to see your badge. And this guy grabs both of us, so assault, and starts shoving us to the cars. And right then the professional security is like, whoa. So they grab John Ritter, and then they throw him against his truck, and they're like, get out of here.
I'm going to be honest. This is probably one of the greatest scams I've heard of when it comes to Christianity. This man literally has a compound that he has frauded his way into. This is crazy. In this parsonage, 19,000 square foot that no one has been into unless you were invited by him. And there's cameras in every guest room. And it's tapped so that they can hear every conversation that you have. How is that godly in any way? What does God have to do with that? Why would you record every conversation that someone could have unless you were trying to blackmail someone, unless you were trying to get something that you should not, unless you were trying to hear something that you shouldn't hear? That's crazy. Now, I did find the video that he's describing of them going to the parsonage and getting called up by the security. I want to show y'all that. Hopefully YouTube will allow it. If not, then it won't be on here. But let's go ahead and see if we can put this on here. This is crazy.
Almost a billionaire's compound that he's gotten from church money, and to be behind enemy lines right now, driving up to his house, is an independent journalist's dream. I have a hunch it's gonna be like the first 3.
No, this one needs a keypad. So, should we just hang out here and wait for someone?
Folks, you should know that on this mega mansion you see, Kenneth Copeland allegedly pays no property tax at all. That's because this house is claimed as a parsonage, which is a property that the church owns and provides for their pastor, which makes sense for most American pastors where the average salary is a modest $52,000 a year, and thereby provides housing for their pastors living a life of sacrifice. But should these tax breaks be used by the ultra-wealthy like Copeland, who for years now has avoided paying what should be a 6-figure tax bill?
Who are you guys?
We're all tithers. We were just trying to see the parsonage because we've never seen any documentation on it.
Why are you out here on the runway?
The gates are all open for us. We were just cruising around.
No, you cannot be out here. This is an active strip.
No, it's not. We know it's not.
No, this is active.
It has to be repaid.
It's active.
Listen, I get you're out here to expose stuff. I get that.
He was supposed to build all this stuff.
I'm aware. Listen, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you are on a private airship on private property right now, and I need you to leave immediately.
But we're paying members of the church.
If you don't leave, you're going to be criminally trespassed by the police. Get in your vehicles and leave now.
No, I want to ask him about the Resort Hotel, Wisdom Heights, and the Kingdom Park. Is the Kingdom Park the Frisbee golf thing up there?
Hey, that's a work in progress, so just don't worry about
all that. For 44 years?
It's a joke to you.
No, I think the joke is a guy pretending to be like the power of Jesus Christ is secretly balling while all the promises he made
seem to have not come to fruition.
Well, let's take us to the church and we'll go to.
What's sad is that the security guards, it seems like they know what's right. They know the truth. They know that these things were supposed to be built, but they're defending him because they work for him. That's what's sad, because deep in their hearts, they know that what Kenneth Copeland is doing is not the work of God. They know that he selfishly took the money and used it for his own desires, and that the things that he promised people 30, 40 years ago, he never went on that promise. He never actually fulfilled it. And he stole millions and millions of dollars in the process. They know it, but they're going to work for him, or they're working for him. And so they're going to defend him. That's what's sad.
Okay, just go right out this gate.
We're going to go out this gate, guys, and head to the church. We're going to head to the church right now. Okay, pal. We're just a couple
No, you're not.
parishioners. Yeah.
Off the property now.
Where's that badge, just by the way?
Off the property.
Can I see what it is?
You want to see this? Off the property.
Whoa, did you just flash your gun? We want to see your badge.
No,
You
see a
did.
Jack crap.
You did.
Get off the property.
Okay. Are you police?
What did you
or?
flash at us?
Doesn't matter.
You literally threatened us with your gun, dude.
Okay, look, he's doing it again. That's
No,
crazy.
I'm not.
We're unarmed. You are. Put your other arm up.
You
We're
do
unarmed.
not belong on the property. How did you get on the property?
There's literally gates that you pull up to and they open.
No, there's not.
There it is.
How much do you want to bet we rolled the whole
Yeah.
time?
You got it. Please stop. What are you? How? Let me ask you. Really, guys? Seriously?
Yeah.
What are you doing out here?
Like the church. We're members.
You go to church here?
Yeah. And we're tithe members.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me show my receipt.
Receipt for
I
what?
gave Kenneth Copeland $69
Okay,
a
great.
considerable sum.
Great.
Doing that with the gun was a little nuts.
Well, you know, when I get a call like this, what would you do?
What was the call?
The call is we got people on here that don't belong out here. That's what I got.
Gotcha.
So then when I pull up, I got a crowd of people, cameras flashing everywhere. What is going on?
Yeah.
And then you're on the runway.
Yeah.
We'll get out the runway. We'll get out the
Yeah,
runway.
we'll meet at the
All
church.
God will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. Whatsoever a man reaps, that he shall sow. And so it's one thing to modestly earn a lot of money, right? That's one thing. Like, you did something good and money's just pouring everywhere. That's fine. There's no worries about that. Be careful not to allow the money to change you, right? Don't think of yourself as, being higher than people because you have it. But it's another thing to steal that money and use it. Wait, it's another thing to steal the money in God's name, to fraud people, and then use the money that you promised them that you were going to use for something else, use it for your own gain. That's crazy. That's crazy. But people are still going to follow Kenneth Copeland. They're still going to give to the church because we just talked about it the other day. People idolize these pastors. They see everything that they do and they see no wrong in any of it. But God is the ultimate judge, and you can't fool him. So an eternity is a lot longer than this lifetime. Man, Kenneth Copeland definitely, from what we see, he needs to repent. He needs to give up the church and give it to another pastor outside of his people, outside of all of his contacts. Give it to a random pastor, someone that can be trustworthy. And he needs to repent, man, because right now it's gotten to a point where the man is literally robbing Christians. He's robbing them. It's crazy, man. I want to know how y'all feel in the comment section, okay? If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and hit the post notification bell so you do not miss another video. My name's Aaron Page. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Until next time.